Alrighty, everyone. Happy Thursday, April 4th, and welcome to my top trading strategy showcase. I am so excited to share this showcase with you because I've been getting so much feedback from students as far as what they're still looking to improve with their trading. And I found that trading strategies is really one of those things that we need to hone in on to become better, more confident traders and really understanding what we're seeing on the price charts. Is it accurate with how we perceived it, or whether we may need to tweak the picture a little bit? So as I mentioned before, if you've joined my first event, which was the Flip Trade 3-day event, or even if you joined the Master Day and Swing Trading event, this event is going to be completely new as far as incorporating all the information that you've learned in the first two events, putting those pieces together, and ultimately showing you how to apply it in the live markets. So again, so excited to have you all here going over some of my trading strategies today, but then of course there'll be more during the 3-day event. But to give you a little bit of an overview, I'm going to be talking about the 2-candle flip. Of course, many of my current students know that that is the foundation for seeing those key turning points in the markets. I did enhance it a bit. So even if you do know the 2-candle flip, I'm going to be including more detail to help you identify it in different locations. Ultimately, if you don't know what the 2-candle flip is, it's a very specific group of candles that when we see them on the price charts, often leads to a long-running reversal move. So we're going to be looking for that specific group of candles and seeing these turning points in the markets. When we can isolate that 2-candle flip in very specific locations, that stacks the odds in our favor and gives us higher probability to take the trade. My goal ultimately is to build your confidence taking trades, being able to read the price charts and understand what's going on ahead of time versus a lot of traders I know are still kind of guessing with the trades that they're taking. I want to take away the guesswork and put in some objective information that you can use moving forward. Just out of curiosity for the people in the room right now, how many of you know the 2-candle flip and who've been with me for a little bit now? And how many of you don't know the 2-candle flip? Just quick poll. Randy, absolutely. Randy knows it. How about everyone else? We know it, don't know it. If you know it and you're still kind of confused about it, let me know as well. Okay, a lot of yeses, got one don't know. That's all right. Don't know, okay, I appreciate you guys. So if you know it, again, I'm going to be including more detail as far as how we can take that 2-candle flip and really expand upon it to build our confidence taking those 2-candle flips in specific locations. If you don't know it, again, it's a very specific group of candles. We can actually see it on this picture here. Looks like it was a live trading trade that we took yesterday, actually. So if you were in our live trading session, you would have seen this one that we took at the end of the session. All it is if we're looking for buying opportunities, we need to see a red candle coming down, green candle closing within the range of the red candle. Oftentimes when you find that group of candles, you get a long-running move to the upside. So not too hard, right? Red candle followed by a green candle. Green candle needs to close in the range of the red candle. And then after that, we look for those long-running momentum moves. That's just one of the pieces that we can use to build our confidence in taking trades. If we're looking for long trades, we look for that group of candle setup. When we're looking for short trades, we're going to be looking for just the opposite, which is simply you see where my cursor is, a green candle coming up, followed by a red candle that closes within the range of the green candle, showing that there's that power dynamic shift between the buyers pushing price up to then the sellers taking control. Typically, when you find this group of candles, the 2-candle flip, you want to participate actively as you see it forming to get in on a long-running move to the downside or a long-running move to the upside. I'll be talking about this as far as momentum trades. If you see it right then and there on your chart, you want to look for those momentum moves. But also if you miss a 2-candle flip and you see one that happened in the past, we can use those as supply and demand zones as long as they're in very specific locations. I'm going to go into more detail on that during today's showcase. So 2-candle flip, I'm going to be doing a deeper dive during the 3-day event as far as adjusting timeframes. Now, this is one that I want to really do a deeper dive into because the price patterns that we see on the smaller timeframes for us day traders are going to be completely different than the ones that we see on the larger timeframes for us swing traders. So being able to see the difference, what does a daily chart 2-candle flip tell us? And then how can we zoom into the smaller timeframes and really understand those smaller timeframe price patterns? I've had a lot of students lately that mention that they want to become more proficient on the smaller time frames, the 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute. So in order to be able to teach that, we need to see what's going on in the larger time frames and then zoom into the smaller ones to find our entry points. Supply and demand, I mentioned that. The pivot before the breakout. So this is going to be used in breakout trades, but also supply and demand. Again, this is going to be a signature piece of what I teach that no one else does that can help trainer eyes to find, buy, and sell opportunities. And then student requests, I'm making this 3-day event and the showcase more interactive by just really wanting your feedback. I mean, everyone is here for a reason. We're all traders. We love, understanding what's going on in the markets and reading price charts. So I love having you guys here. I want your feedback and I want to incorporate what strategies that you use on a day-to-day basis. Let me know which strategies work, which ones you're still uncertain about, or if you need a complete revamp and reteaching on all strategies. So before I get into it, just again, another quick poll question, then we'll jump into it. Let me know, do you have any strategies that you like? And what strategies are you still confused on? Like, is there anyone in particular that you're just like, I really love breakouts, but I still get confused, or I really love supply and demand, but I'm not sure where exactly to look for them. Does any of that resonate with you guys? Again, any feedback is appreciated. If not now, I think the more we go through the showcase today, you may start kind of thinking of those questions that may or may not kind of sit with you. There we go. Brandon offering an answer. Thank you, Brandon. Supply and demand has been tough lately. Perfect. Great. Okay, so let's start with that. Brandon says supply and demand has been tough lately. Perfect. Love that comment. I've been there. I know a lot of other traders here, I'm sure, have dealt with that. Where are we looking for supply and demand, and where are those high probability locations? I'm going to bring in some of those details that helps us see when to take a supply or demand trade and when we need to hold back. So there's, again, different pieces of information when we look at a price chart that will either say, take the supply or demand trade, or wait. Again, we need to be able to understand both, because not all supply and demand zones are going to work. As you're, mentioning that, Brandon, you could have a perfect looking supply zone or perfect looking demand zone and it fails. So we need to look at those examples too, see what, and we'll go over this too as well. I'm going to actually write that down. As you guys are writing in the chat, I'm going to be writing these down and making sure I include them during the 3-day event, because these are all things that I really want to focus on. I'm going to mark your name too as well. So Brandon F. Supply and demand has been tough. That gives me the opportunity to go over supply zones that work, demand zones that work, and which ones don't work. Let's see what else. Thank you guys for typing. And I love this. Like to trade the pullback. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, pullback. So that's definitely going to be in the 3-day event. Let me mark. Like to trade the pullback. So the pullback is good, and that's a fun one when we're in a trending market condition. So I'm going to be going over that as well today and understanding when that pullback move is higher probability to take it long or higher probability to take it short, or when is that pullback actually a reversal pattern. different information that we'll see on the price charts. Again, we'll go over different examples so you guys can see it real time and put those pieces together. See, Diane says momentum and staying in the trade. I'll write your name down. Thank you, Diane. Diane M. Momentum and staying in the trade. This is a good one too. Momentum trades are better and breakout trades are better when we understand trend. What that also entails is that if we're taking breakout trades and we're trying to stay in trades longer, a lot of times I see traders take breakout trades at the wrong locations, and then they're having a significant amount of risk on the trade they're looking to take. They may be right on trade direction, but their entry point is going to be off. That will tie into the 2-candle flip. So in order to stay in the trade longer, that means our entry point needs to be at the best possible location. Sometimes that means waiting a little bit for that opportunity. But yeah, in order to stay in it longer, we can't be kind of forcing trades and trying to jump into them. Really, if you see that optimal pullback, that's when we want to get in to stay in those momentum trades. So perfect. Thank you, Diane. Brandon, got another one. Let's see. Add this one to yours. Finding clean, clear structure for zones. Perfect. Finding clean, clear structure for zones. I love this one. This goes back to your other comment as well about supply and demand being tough. They kind of go hand in hand with understanding the structures and where we're looking for our zones. I'm going to make this so much simpler for you, Brandon, as far as the supply and demand zones and those structures. It's not as complicated as many of us think when we just know exactly what to look for. Again, 2-candle flip is there, but being able to use some more information. It'll come during our showcase day, but I'm writing it down so I can go into more detail on that. Let's see. Sharon says trend changes. Perfect. Thanks, Sharon. Trend changes. Absolutely. So when are we in a trend? When is it reversing? Been there before as far as, when a trend is changing. I think people get stuck on trying to pick bottoms or pick tops. If the markets are pulling back, which, man, equity indexes are dropping today. I think I saw, I'm not sure if Patrick's in the room. I think I saw a notification that he got in on that short trade. Got to check on that though. But yeah, we need to understand trend. When is it reversing? And when is the trend changing? Again, very specific patterns that we need to look for in order to understand that if we were in an uptrend, when is it shifting to a downtrend, and being able to see kind of that back and forth between the sellers then taking out the buyers and understanding where our zones are located in trade opportunities. So trend is great. Let's see what else. Hey, Callie, good to have you here. Demetris. Hey, Demetris. Let's see. Breakout and retest. Perfect. This is a good one. This is one of the main topics I already have during the 3-day event is breakouts. When are they long running breakouts? When are they fake out breakouts? So we got to be careful with breakouts. A lot of us take breakouts in the wrong locations where they're breaking out. However, we get quickly stopped out. It goes the wrong direction. So we're going to put those pieces together to help us understand which breakout trade on a price chart is going to be longer running versus which one is probably going to stop us out. So if we can get a breakout and get that retest, that correction is going to help us get in at a better entry point. Going back to Mark's comment of trading the pullback, getting in on that pullback is going to help after the breakout. And then it shows that we're staying with the trend. 3 touches. Yeah, let me write that down, Callie. That'll be helpful for finding our supply and demand. 3 touches. See, location is important, but seems I can't find the picture in the right location with the markets lately. Let me put yours I appreciate you, Brandon. Again, the more feedback you give me, the more I can tailor these sessions for you guys. So let me see, location's important, but can't find the picture in the right location. I get that, and it gets tricky. It'll be easier today. You'll start to see things differently, of course, during the 3-day event, as well with seeing the picture. It's really, my goal is to simplify it during the showcase, during the 3-day event, because again, a lot of us overcomplicate things. There's so much information out there that finding that picture can seem confusing, especially when there's a million time frames. So we need to be able to understand what exact picture are we looking for? How are we getting into a trade? And then how can we stay in those trades longer by knowing exactly what's going on in the markets? Again, we're lacking some pieces of the puzzle. So my goal during the showcase is to fill in some of those missing pieces. Dimitrios kind of tagging on that, adjusting timeframes can be a problem. Can be a problem. Absolutely. And again, I don't think this one's ever been taught well, in my opinion. That's why it's one of the ones that I'm honing in on during this 3-day event, is because, again, I know a lot of traders think, well, the price patterns you see on a daily chart are the same ones you see on a minute chart. Kinda. It's going to be a little bit different. On a minute chart, there's a lot more volatility, a lot more chop. So the picture is actually going to be different. If we're not seeing that as far as when we switch from swing trading to day trading and understanding how the pictures differ, that's what I want to kind of hone in on, and understanding how a daily chart looks. But then when we zoom into the smaller time frames, what that looks on a 1 minute, a 5 minute, because it does look different. So we need to understand the difference. That's perfect. Let's see, almost done, Callie. Small scalping with these crazy days. Absolutely. Let me write that down. Small. Yeah, scalping can be tricky for sure, especially if, all these economic reports coming out, economic events, Fed chairman speaking. It does cause a lot of volatility. So again, that will help with the scalping, understanding the price patterns on the smaller time frames. Let me see. Yeah, as Dimitrios mentioned, adjusting time frames. So as we go down to the smaller time frames, I need to kind of show and pinpoint those areas where we're looking for trades, because it's going to get a little choppier, a little messier on the smaller time frames. So if we are scalping, we need to understand what exactly we're looking at and not guessing. So I like that. Thank you, Callie. Yeah, jumping in on a trend if you miss it. Jumping in on trend if you miss it. Perfect. Right, and it's always easy to see after the fact, but what I want to do is give you the tools to see the picture ahead of time, so that even if you miss a big move, when you start seeing those corrections, you're not thinking the trend has changed and you're trying to pick bottoms or pick tops. And that's something I've seen time and time again, is traders trying to pick bottoms, kind of like trying to, what's the expression, catch a falling knife. You don't want to do that as the markets are dropping, especially today with the markets pulling back. Big move to the downside. And I'll show you what was there ahead of the chart that led us to that long running downside move. Patrick, yes, breakout trades, not comfortable. Okay. Yeah, I think I got the notification on my phone from the Discord, I believe, that you posted your charts in there, and I saw that I believe it was, which one was it? Was the S&P or the NASDAQ that you got? Yeah, feel free to let everyone know, and I'm going to write down your question. Breakout trades, not comfortable. Dow and Russell. Amazing. Breakout trades, not comfortable. So the 2-candle flip, and for everyone else does, location of that is important, understanding the breakouts. I'm going to give you more detail that will help with the breakout trades and understanding whether to take them or not. And that's one of the big ones that I wanted to incorporate, is that breakout trades, a lot of students love them and a lot of traders like breakout trades, but we can get chopped up if we don't know which direction price is breaking out in. Transitioning from daily down to smaller. Perfect. I love that one too, Patrick. Again, that's going to be a big one that in creating this event, wanting to incorporate the importance of adjusting timeframes. As I mentioned before, price patterns on the daily chart, not the same as the smaller timeframes. So this is going to be the first event where I'm really pointing out those details and what to look for, so we're not getting chopped up in the smaller kind of noise versus higher time frames. It's clear and easy to see a lot more easily, but then when we try to find our entry point on the smaller time frames, we kind of get lost in the noise. So I want to clarify that a little bit more today and moving forward. Yeah, great job, Patrick. So happy for you. Indexes, confluences that could have helped out on the Dow Jones today. Thanks, Dwayne. Let me write that down. Indices, confluences, perfect. That could have helped on Dow today. Perfect. So being able to kind of look at across the board all the equity indexes, seeing kind of what's going on across the board and which ones can help you identify which equity index to take overall. Because overall, all the equity indexes having these pretty significant moves to the downside, we want to be able to see what's happening ahead of time in order to gauge which one to trade and which one's giving us that picture on the price chart that we need to see to maintain our confidence taking the trade. Thank you all so much for the comments, the questions. I have written everyone's names down, everyone's comments. So I will be including all of these during the 3-day event. It's going to take some time, but I want to make sure each person's questions and comments are included. I'll create quizzes on each of those examples. So once you register, you'll have specific quizzes that are going to tie back to your questions. As long as you guys answer them correctly by the end of the 3-day event, then you should be more confident in understanding how to resolve some of the issues that we've talked about today. So excited. Again, this is going to be the most interactive event thus far. More quizzes, more interaction. I like testing you guys because then that shows that you're understanding and applying the information. Alrighty, so quick disclosure, and then we'll jump into it. The information contained should not be construed as a recommendation or an offer to buy or sell any security or financial instrument, solely for educational and informational purposes only. And my goal has been and always will be to help you guys see the price charts more clearly. Not only that, because I know I say that time and time again, but as you guys are trading on your own, being able to be like, that's what Kate talked about in class, and this is where I should go long, or this is where I should go short, and have the confidence to know exactly what you're looking for and take out the guesswork. It takes time, it takes practice, but together, and you can see the group we have here today is absolutely amazing already, that togetherness and community is going to help us really be able to read the price charts in a whole new light. So I'm so excited for this event. Alrighty, so welcome to my top trading strategies complimentary showcase. During this next hour, you're going to see some of my trading strategies in action. Again, all about that for this 3-day event. A lot of emails as far as people asking what is different about this event versus the past two. The past two events, Flip Trade and Master Day and Swing Trading, has been more focused on specific topics. Now, this 3-day event, Trading Strategies, is more implementing in the markets, more of taking your feedback and recommendations, seeing what trades you're taking, what strategy you're using, and then being able to hone in on which one worked, which one didn't, and really be able to have those aha moments as far as, understanding why a breakout worked, why it didn't, why a supply and demand zone worked, or why one didn't, so on and so forth. We're going to go over why some trading strategies work and why some don't. And it's important to know both of them. I've never liked the concept of just focusing in on only trades that worked, because we do need to understand why some trades don't and be able to see what information was on the price charts that could have made us hold back and say, you know what, this one's probably not going to work because of the location, because of an opposing zone, putting those pieces together and being able to see the entire picture. Also, I want to know what trading strategies work for you and which ones don't. Again, thank you for the feedback. I have a full list. As you think of more things, type them in the chat, and I'm going to continue to write them down. Keep that in mind. We're going to talk about these. I'm going to include them in my Top Trading Strategies 3-day event next week. It's coming up quickly, April 9th, 10th, and 11th, 2024, 3 to 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Recordings, all content are included. I know I get a lot of emails saying that some people have work some days, other obligations. So you do get all of the recordings, you get all of the PowerPoint content as well. And of course, you can email me any questions that you have as well. Let's get started. Alrighty, so not all strategies are foolproof. Learn which strategies work and which strategies don't. Chart here, we're looking at gold, 10-minute time frame. This can be more day trading style. We have a supply zone that failed. Now, this is one where I'm sure a lot of traders in the past would see this area where price dropped, we rallied, we dropped, and they're seeing this maybe as a drop-based drop. They're putting their zone here, and then as price rallies up into it, they get stopped out and price continues to move higher. It can be very frustrating, but again, my goal is that moving forward, you're not going to be taking this supply zone. Instead, you're going to be looking up a little bit further to find one in a better location. This is going to tie into, as Callie mentioned, the 3 touches and location. The best supply and demand zones work when they're at the origin of a move to the downside or at the origin of a move to the upside. Now, as you can see, price rallied through what many other traders would have taken in the past, or maybe still do as a supply zone here, just to get stopped out for price to go a little bit higher. And then ultimately they're right and price moves in the direction in which they were expecting. We're going to focus on location of our supply and demand zones. Very important that we're not just picking random drop-based drops, rally-based drops. They're not all the same. We can't choose all of them. We're going to be staying away from that. So this one, supply zone success. We're going to be going for these trades. Price stopped here, change direction. When we look left, we can see this is the origin of a move down. What I'm going to be talking about as far as supply and demand is going to be what I call a controlling breakout pivot, or the pivot before a breakout. Many of you who were in the last class will know that, but I'm going to be doing a deeper dive into what that is to help us find supply and demand zones. It's all about location, again, being at the origin of a down move or the origin of an up move, and also looking for where price is stalling and getting that last bounce before a breakdown. So here's why I updated supply and demand, because I saw many traders time and time again choosing supply zones that were not in the right location. So I needed to create rules that helped traders understand why a supply zone wouldn't work if it's not in the right location, versus ones that are in better locations. Now there's more detail here as far as why this one stopped out. If you notice the bigger picture, if you come here to the origin of this up move that took out this not supply zone, notice all these wicks down here. This is going to be one of my topics I'm going to be doing a deeper dive into, is that a lot of these wicks on the bottom side are showing a tremendous amount of buying pressure to the upside. When we come left, we can see that that aligns with some of this buying pressure over here. So a lot of these wicks showing where the buyers are coming in If you see that, you want to anticipate that the buyers are still in control. These are not areas where we want to go short. They're areas where we want to participate with where buyers were previously using and filling their orders. So in this case, we're not going to short here. It's really close to the buyers who are in control of this up move, rather so that we're picking the best, highest probability supply zones. We got to go to the origin of the move, even if it's further away and takes a little bit more time, but understanding that location is key in seeing where the sellers took out a large stack of buy orders. Again, a lot more information here. Notice how much time was spent here as far as filling these orders and moving sideways. A lot of these little details, again, also a pivot point before a breakdown, shows that stack of sell orders just waiting here. You can get a little bit more confirmation by a test as well. Notice how price just barely tapped it and fell. A lot of times price will go deeper into your supply zone, and then you get the long running move. So again, we're talking about location. So if supply and demand has been tough, I think that was Brandon's comment, I'm going to be honing in on which ones are we taking, which ones are we not taking. We're going to be avoiding these ones due to the location of where it's at. These ones that are already in the middle of a move typically get blown through when we get those corrections. All right, another topic, another trading strategy is, as I mentioned briefly before, is the controlling breakout pivot. Now, a controlling breakout pivot is something that causes price to break out to the upside and where we can see a significant amount of buyers pushing price up. Now, in this case, just marking out pivot points, we can see that we had a pullback, price rallied, and then we dropped to the downside from there. So kind of going back, and what I'm trying to illustrate is that if you see this move happening and price gets up to here, you got to understand, are we looking to buy on a pullback, or is this a reversal pattern? It's going to come down to identifying, defining what is a controlling breakout pivot. This one would not be a controlling breakout pivot because it's not giving us enough information as far as where it's located. It's at the top of a move. We're going to be wanting to find those pivot points a little bit lower down, and more information that we're going to be including is looking left on the price charts and seeing if a pivot point, did it fall inside a previous pivot point? Did it fall inside a previous 2-candle flip? We got to be able to kind of see the waves of the market. If one is out of place and you just have a single large pivot, typically that upside breakout tends to be a reversal pattern. Ultimately, what we're looking for to stay in trending moves and stay in trades longer is when we can see those pivot points making higher highs and higher lows. So Kate's controlling breakout pivot. See, we had a pivot down, price rallied, and we had a successful breakout to the upside. So as I briefly mentioned before, and we'll go into more detail during the 3-day event, is noticing at the beginning of this move, what's going on and how is price moving. So you can see from this down move, we have a lot of wicks down here. Buyers are starting to take control. The pivots are making higher highs and higher lows. When you see those pullback pivots into previous pivots, typically that's when you're in a trending market. So I made a comment here. Here's why I created. I think I lost you. Is everyone here? Not sure what happened. Alrighty, was I on? Thank you guys. Sorry about that. I think it just shut down randomly, but looks like we're good to go. Did you hear most of what I was talking about with the controlling breakout pivots and the ones that fail in the location? I'll kind of reiterate that again. The main concept that I want to explain with the pivots and why I created controlling breakout pivots was to give us confidence in taking breakout trades. So I think it was, let me see, Patrick's comment before, not being comfortable with breakout trades, it's going to come down to location of where are we taking the breakout. Because in order to take a breakout and have high confidence, we need to see that recent pullback. What did it drop into? And that's going to give us the answer as far as should we take the breakout or shouldn't we? If price is having a really big pullback and we're not dropping into a previous pivot, likely that's going to be a red flag for a reversal pattern. So again, we want to keep an eye on both sides of the picture, understanding which breakout trades work, which ones don't. And again, the reason why I created these controlling breakout pivots was to build our confidence and knowledge trading and staying in trending markets. Also being able to understand when we're at a reversal point, which would be this one here. If we start breaking those pivots, typically we're in a reversal at that point. All right, I'm also gonna be talking about the two candle flip. I know many of you know the two candle flip already. As I mentioned, it is a specific group of candles where we often get a long running reversal. So example here, we're looking at the micro Dow on the 1 hour time frame. Notice we have a red candle coming down, followed by a green candle closing within the high and low of the red candle. Once you see that group of candles, you want to get in long and participate in that reversal, that strong running reversal to the upside. That can be taken as a trade, as a momentum trade, or we can also wait for price to pull back to the two candle flip. Oftentimes that's where there's some leftover buy orders at that two candle flip. So this is the standard one that everyone or most of us know. For those of you who know the two candle flip, what is the reason behind the location of this two candle flip being higher probability? Who can see the answer to that? So we're going to see two candle flips everywhere. Why is this location higher probability for that two candle flip? Double bottom, that one's good, Demetrios, I like it. Price came down twice. Yeah, the one I was looking for, Mark got it, broke support. Yeah, so if we look to the left of that two candle flip, notice how there was a support level just above it. This is where if you're struggling with breakout trades and price broke down and you're taking that short breakout to the downside just for it to stop you out, chances are it's dropping into something to the left. Notice there's a big two candle flip over here as well. We don't want to take breakout trades if it's breaking out into another zone or another two candle flip. So this one, you can see how this two candle flip dropped into this one. So not a place to go short, rather a place to go long on a reversal to the upside. Demetrios, your comment's correct as well. Double bottom I'll be incorporating that as well and kind of understanding why a double bottom works. That's important to see what that picture looks like on the high time frames as well as the lower time frames. Yes, Mark broke support, breakdown, two candle flip, move to the upside, higher low. I like that one too, Dwayne. So we have a low, higher low, kind of tying into the double bottom. Again, all of these things, I also want to, during the 3-day event, explain why they work. Why does a double bottom work? Why does a higher low work? All these things, and being able to, as the markets are trading and moving real time, being able to understand that I want to go long at that double bottom versus it being a downside breakout, or it's a higher low, I want to go long instead of being confused whether it's a downside breakout. So again, the more we put the pieces together, it's going to train your brain to say, I'm going to wait to go long here, wait for price to come down, but I'm not going to look to go short on a breakout. Good job, Tom. Yep, support to the left. Absolutely. So this is the traditional way. If you haven't taken one of the first two classes and the two candle flip is new, kind of just a brief overview. And then for those of you who have taken my previous classes, I'm going to be enhancing the two candle flip to help with location. So location is key. In this case here, we're looking at the micro S&P. 1 hour time frame. Notice how this 2 candle flip, price pulled back, held it, and we got that long running move to the upside. Now this location, we can't quite see that breakdown reversal. We have a 2 candle flip, but the enhancement here is being able to adjust the time frame to see more pieces of information. I think I can bring this one up actually. Yeah, let me grab it before the big move to the downside. There we go. So micro S&P, you can see the screenshot I grabbed just to illustrate that location is key and why this one worked. We'll be putting all the pieces together as far as 2 candle flip. We'll be talking about pivot points. Demetrios mentioned, is it a retest? Price pulled back down to that pivot point, but more detail as far as the wicks are concerned and location. As we adjust time frame up and down, it's going to give us a clear picture and ultimately build our confidence taking trades. Because now as we come down, you can see that was a nice long trade, but the information on the 1 hour as far as the 2 candle flip, we don't see that anymore. Now we just see a bunch of wicks. Keep that in mind moving forward. Again, this is one of those things that I'm only going to be explaining it, or the first time explaining it during this upcoming 3-day event, is how on the higher time frames, information may look different. So on the 4 hour, we see a bunch of wicks. But then if you drop it down to a 15-minute, it doesn't look like a bunch of wicks anymore. Now it looks like a lot of basing, price came down, came down, came down, came down, came down a bunch of times. And this is where people get confused as far as where to take the trade. So again, I'm going to be going over high time frame pictures, low time frame pictures, how we adjust the time frame, and how we can understand that a wiki area on a higher time frame is actually this picture on a smaller time frame. And then the retest as far as looking for pivot points to identify where our zones are going to be located. Again, I'm throwing a lot out at you for right now, but this will all be clarified during the 3-day event. So again, I'm enhancing the location of the 2 candle flip, ultimately specific group of candles where price changes direction. Adjusting time frame, I mentioned this one as well. On the smaller time frames, it can get pretty choppy. This is a 15-minute chart and just shows price coming down many times. I know people or traders up till now may be looking to go short in these areas, thinking that a lot of the orders have been used up. I want to look to go short on a breakout. However, price ends up holding this and rallying. So by adjusting the time frame up or down, giving us different pictures will help clarify our understanding of the price charts and also help us identify, bottom line, are we looking to go long or are we looking to go short? Should be one or the other, and ultimately putting those pieces together that when we come down to the smaller time frames, we're looking for our scalp trades. The entry points are precise based on understanding that the buyers are down here, holding price up. This is also where we want to be going long. So here, same chart, just took it from a 15-minute to a 8-hour time frame. Notice how much simpler it looks. Now we can see just these bottom wicks holding price up. Easier to, as price came down here, look to go long. You can see the pivot point to the left. Notice this pivot is below resistance. All of these kind of simplified pictures that makes things clear and easier for us to see are on the higher time frames. So when we're looking for our scalp trades, that's where we need to have a bias one way or the other. Am I looking to go long or looking to go short so I can stay in a trade longer term? We can drop it down to a 15-minute, a 10-minute, and stay in a trade long term, but we gotta be pretty close to right or have a good indication of direction. You know, we don't want to go short here, we want to go long, and the information why can be seen on various other timeframes. Again, if you're kind of getting lost in timeframes, that's going to be a full section during the 3-day event, is how can we maneuver the timeframes to see the picture we need to see, ultimately say, here's where I'm looking to buy as price comes down, and be confident with that answer and not being confused or going back and forth. Putting all the pieces together, here I've got MicroDAO, 1 hour time frame. So we want to ultimately, at the end of this 3-day event, and how it's different from the other 3-day events that I've hosted, is we're putting together these strategies so you can understand which ones work, which ones don't. Being able to understand both sides of the picture can help us kind of reel back our desire to take some trades if it's not the right picture, and also be more confident taking trades because it is the right picture. So we want to increase confidence by increasing our knowledge of where price is going and why. So again, going back to kind of the comments that you mentioned before and finding the right picture in the right location, it's all going to be clear after the 3-day event. So here we have my enhanced 2-candle flip. You can see we have a red candle coming down, green candle closing within the range of the red candle, long running, move to the upside from there. Notice left, price was breaking down. We took out this support, 2-candle flip. That's where we look for those long running reversal moves. The controlling breakout pivot helps us find where the trend is going, so we can take a breakout with greater confidence if we identify the controlling breakout pivot, or we can wait for price to come back down to a controlling breakout pivot to go long again. Completely up to you. I like both of them, and I'll see different pictures depending on what chart, what time frame I'm looking at, but I want you to be comfortable with both breakouts as well as pullbacks because you understand the picture. Then when price starts to get sideways, being able to see and adjust the time frame to understand where the sellers are holding their positions. That's going to help us from taking long trades. If we can look left, see if there's maybe some opposing zones over there, and also just understanding what's going on. Maybe we want to take some short-term short scalp trades at that point, to ultimately being able to identify precisely demand as well as supply before a breakout, to build our confidence taking a breakout or waiting for a pullback. Again, first class where I'm putting all these pieces together, all these strategies, so you can understand which ones work, which ones don't, and how we need to be viewing and reading the price charts. All right, so I already asked this one earlier. Let me know in the chat if you have any other strategies, but this was kind of what I asked at the beginning. So let's talk strategies. Which ones work for you? Which ones do you struggle with? So I'm going to be including these during the 3-day event. Again, if you've already typed in the chat, I've written your questions down. If there's anything else, type it in the chat. I'm going to be writing it down, again, including it throughout the 3-day event so you get the most out of it. Hey, Tom, absolutely. I'll see you next week. And I owe you an email. I'll be sending that out in a little bit. But I'll see you during the 3-day event, Tom. Thanks for coming. Again, anyone else, if you have any other strategies, let me know. Any questions so far based on what we've covered? Questions, comments, struggles? Where are you guys at? Good to keep moving forward. Again, just think on it. All right, thanks, Callie. Awesome, thanks, Patrick. Alrighty, so I did want to include a few interactive quizzes so you can start to see these pieces in action. Ultimately, the more you see it time and time again, repetition, the more it's going to stick. So when you're on your own without me, you can see it for yourself and learn where to take those trades. Gonna be a lot of these during the 3-day event, so hope you're excited for it. Okay, so let's look at this chart here. We're looking at the MicroDAO 1 hour time frame. Price is rallying. Would you guys be looking to buy here or would you be looking to sell here? What do you guys think? Buy or sell? Got 4 sells. Anyone else want to take a guess? Sell. All right, so the answer is we would be looking to sell. So in this example here, being able to identify a controlling breakout pivot to the left is key in looking for whether to go long or whether to go short. And I've seen too many times where people are trying to go short here just to get stopped out and for price to go higher. So by being able to identify and define where a controlling breakout pivot is going to help you have more confidence taking supply and demand type trades. This one, buy or sell. I think this was our one from before, but let me see if you guys can get it again. You see this chart on the Dow, 30-minute time frame? Price looks like this. Would you be looking to buy or sell? And why? Demetria says buy. Sharon says buy. In demand, buy. Pivot to the left, perfect. Good job, Sharon. Support. Yeah, so again, all these things, thank you, Patrick, broke support, absolutely. Again, it's not just one thing that we're going to be incorporating, it's going to be different things. The more we put those pieces together, the more confidence we're going to have saying, I'm going to go long here, I'm going to buy. So you said, everyone said buy, so you're right on that one. 2 candle flip below broken support. We're going long above the high wick of the green candle for a long running trade. And then as price returns back to those areas, we're looking for additional long trade opportunities. Now there's a lot more information in here that helps us identify long and short trade opportunities. Pivot points are key. Being able to understand when a breakout is a fake out breakout goes into where is price breaking out into, what is the trend, is there a previous controlling breakout pivot to the left? We always want to be looking left. When are we forming new controlling breakout pivots? And being able to understand what that looks like. Are we making higher highs and higher lows? Again, the more repetition we get, the more when we're on our own, we can put those pieces together and be confident in the trades we're taking. Again, all the questions you asked, we're going to be simplifying that, putting the pieces together so you know precisely what to look for and what that picture on the price chart looks like. Let me go out to the charts for a moment. I'm going to do I'll do the micro S&P just because we had a pretty big down move today. All right, so price stopped here, huge move to the downside. I know Patrick got this, but we need to understand ahead of time, why are we expecting price to drop here? Also, why are we expecting price to rally from, here? It's all about understanding the pictures on the price chart to kind of put some of those pieces together. Being able to see where we have support and resistance is huge. So when we have a resistance level, remember I mentioned that we need to be able to, if we want to take a breakout trade, we need to see a controlling breakout pivot. In this case, we wouldn't define this as a controlling breakout pivot due to the structure. Again, we'll define this during the 3-day event. But notice how price dropped, broke right through it, and started basing. This is what we consider to be those fake out breakouts. When we have those, if you're concerned about trend and trend reversals, this is going to be something we'll spend a lot of time on, and understanding when is a reversal going to happen versus when is it going to continue. and being able to see that picture. Now notice on that breakout and that reversal, as we broke down, we took out that support level and price continued to move lower. Once you see a reversal pattern, you got to avoid trying to pick bottoms. If you're trying to pick a bottom, it may be good for a scalp trade, but other than that, you want to be looking to stay with the trend. We're going to be talking about wiki areas, which show where buyers and sellers are. That's going to be this area in here. That helps us stay with the trend and know when to take breakout trades. That allows us to get in on breakout trades. When price is potentially reversing, we need to be able to look at those pivot points and see, are we making higher highs and higher lows? Remember that drop, was it yesterday, where price was dropping down towards the end of the session just for it to rally and continue to move up for most of today? Again, the reason why is because of where it's dropping into. Again, being able to exploit and kind of pinpoint that pivot just below, being able to pinpoint the basing that's here, the 2-candle flip, all these things just need to give you the confidence to say, I'm going to go long here and participate in this move to the upside. This will help you stay in trades longer and be confident with trend. Now, as far as trend reversals, just like what happened over here, we had that breakout and then price tanked. Same thing over here. And shout out to Patrick for seeing this. We had the resistance popped above just for that long running reversal. So now moving forward, what are we going to do? Prices had a significant move down. Are we looking to buy or sell? Again, all of those answers will be shown during the 3-day event next week as far as exactly what we're looking for. But all these things going to be shown for the first time. I'm very excited to be going over this with you and being able to put all those pieces together. Again, sometimes breakout trades work, sometimes they don't. Once you can see what the picture looks like and what the information is telling you, the more it's going to make sense, and you're going to be very quickly answering the quiz questions, looking at your charts, and knowing exactly what to do. And that's my goal, is to help you guys see the right picture or how it should be seen and take away that confusion. So again, this is going to be coming up, 3-day event. So let me go to the next screen. So make sure you get registered. It starts next week. Master the trading strategies that work. 3-day event, April 9th, 10th, and 11th, 3 to 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. Special offering price, $395, regularly $495. What I'm doing for everyone who's attending it live today, so this is only for you guys, I'm not going to be sending it out in any other emails, is that I'm going to give you the special Kate students trading price of $349. I'm going to grab that, post it in the chat. To register, use that link, or if you do want to register, you can also send me an email at tradingcoach@katetrades.com. Again, you're not going to see that anywhere else except in the complimentary showcase, and it's really just to thank you guys for being here during the live session, asking your questions, and also the feedback as far as what you're still struggling with as far as trading, what you're looking to achieve. All that information is going to help me during the 3-day event to customize it, to focus on exactly where you guys are struggling. So looking forward to having you guys there. Again, the link is in the chat for the $349 discount. This one is just for everyone else. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at tradingcoach@katetrades.com if you want the link that way. And then to register, you guys won't register this way because the reduced price isn't on the website. But what you'll do is go to katetrades.com. After the home tab, the strategies event tab right here, it'll give you more information. I think most of it you're getting from today's showcase. Again, don't use this link because that's for the $395. Use the one in the chat to get the discounted rate. I'm looking forward to having you all there. Again, I appreciate your feedback so much. This is going to be the best class yet. Again, completely different from the other two events due to the fact that we're going to be putting the pieces together like I haven't in the first two sessions. I realize we need to implement, we need to practice, and we need to hone in on those challenges that you guys mentioned to me before, that we need to kind of do a deeper dive into and understand what's going on. So you guys, make sure you join, make sure you register for next week. I have your names written down and your questions. So it's going to be awkward if you don't join because I'm going to be answering your questions during the 3-day event. Looking forward to having you all there. Get any questions, email me at tradingcoach@katetrades.com. I'll put that in the chat as well. tradingcoach@katetrades.com. Thank you, Callie, Patrick, looking forward to seeing you there. Sharon, as always, Aldo, looking forward to seeing you there. Dwayne, I've been blessed to have participated in all of them so far and will be attending this one also. Always good having you there, Dwayne. You're doing absolutely amazing. Yeah, if you have any questions, I wrote down your comment on the confluences. So I'm going to be talking about that one during the 3-day event. If anyone else have any questions that you want me to add, send me an email and I'll be more than happy and taking time during the class to answer those. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you guys all next week, April 9th, 10th, and 11th. You get the recordings, all the course content. So make sure you guys get signed up. Thank you all for being here. Live trading students, I'll see you guys all tomorrow, bright and early, to assess what's going on in the markets. Are we moving back to the upside or are we going to continue to move lower? See you guys all tomorrow in live trading, and I'll see you next week for Master the Trading Strategies 3-day event. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Callie.